Cardcaptor Sakura aired in Japan in 1999. In the year, I was in elementary school. I've watched a lot of anime, Digimon Adventure, Zoids, Ajamajo Doremi, Mamet Shugajiten, and like that. Since then, I looked forward to this one the most every week. As most the viewers admit, the story was extremely fascinating and the characters were unbelievably attractive. Fortunately, or unfortunately, the boy knew the pleasure of watching anime for girls. I still answer it when somebody asks me what anime I love the best. Even if the questioner feels my age, my reply is surely the same. Needless to say, I bought the comics and the DVDs, and I'll probably get the Burley boxes. Though I said there were few of the items because it aired on NHK, the Japanese public broadcaster, on my previous video, manufacturers have produced various new ones since Clear Card's arc aired in January this year. By the way, in 2013, a publisher sold a model sheets of In the Comic Market 84 and on the online store run by itself. I'm showing the parts of them to you here. This is the model sheets. The afterward said, visual images of main characters and items were selected from countless sheets and include in this book. Sakura with the uniform looking familiar to us. I've ever wondered if Tomoto Elementary School she attended was private. I was in public one and the uniform wasn't adapted. In Japan, most of them don't require the clothes. When I talked to my brother about the question, he answered, that school was certainly private. Any of the building was clean and flower beds were manicured. Besides, do you think a public one has a freezer room? In the anime episode, she captured the watery in the aquarium, while she did so in her school in the comic. I agreed with him. What her battle costume do you like? I'm fond of these aside from one in the first opening. They wasn't flashy and but so girly. The titles were a little different in the middle of the episodes. Above battle costume was abbreviated to below battle cos. Costume is often done to cos like cosplay in Japanese. The point is so interesting to me because I can imagine the animators like the viewers were getting familiar with the work. As she was definitely cute, Tamayo was so endearing as she. This outfit seemed so her. She wasn't only graceful and calm but mentally strong. Her wholehearted love for Sakura expressed the personality of hers. I don't know if that is right or not, but a woman like her is Japanism. Sakura's mother Natsuko. Her name isn't so rare in Japan, and it came from a dianthus, a flower. It's like Lily and Ashley. That reminds me, the name also is hers. What is your favorite Clow card? I guess the mirror was the most popular among the fans. Delicate relationship between the card and her brother Toyo was intriguing to me. Tomoyo's camcorder. The prices were so high at the time. Though my grandfather had a camcorder, he never let me touch it. Videos taken with it were recorded on magnetic tape, as even kids can easily edit them with iMovie and Windows Movie Maker these days. It was necessary for exclusive equipment and special knowledge to do that. Do you know the spin-off Tomoyo's Cardcaptor Sakura video diary? It turned out she shot the first opening movie there, and she said her videos of Sakura would air all over Japan. Her words were true. I could have uploaded some of the scenes, but I don't hope she will ignore me eternally because of it. You can see the details for yourselves. Speaking of which, her new one resembled Sony DCR, PC7 and the motif might be the product. This is the full-scale model sheets, and it was almost 10 inches wide and 14 inches long. The size is called B4 in Japan but distinct from an international standard. Previous ones were resized smaller. A friend of Sakura's Rika. How would you behave towards her if you were a primary teacher and realized she was attracted to me? Though Mr. Terada looks a little confused in the anime, he gave an engagement ring to her in the comic. My brother said to me, do you know why Ms. Mizuki was appointed to their homeroom teacher in the second season? A certain teacher especially saw a student of his and the principal or somebody considered that as inappropriate. I asked him, is she really lovely? He answered, I must admit. Nakara, a secret identity of Ruby Moon. Almost all the fans understand the Guardian wasn't female and male. This is an animator's notes in the minimized sheet. It says, don't highlight Nakara's breast because it's not female. But it isn't male, too. I was curious about its name. The pronunciation sounded mysterious. I found out it actually came from a staff of the publisher. Moreover, a friend of the writers, Clamp, when I read the afterwards of a Magic Knight Rare Collector's Edition in my junior high school days, The origin was Lake Nakara in Kenya. This is the drawings revised by the animation director. Animators are though remarkable good at drawings. On the internet, I often see this opinion: recent anime are so garish. I prefer cel ones whose color is natural to digital. I wondered if there is difference between both. Like Toy Story and Cars, CG animation aren't obviously the same as them at all. I thought the atmosphere and the direction were like the second movie when I watched Clear Card's Arc for the first time, but it was produced by painting on triacetyl cellulose sheets called cel. Nowadays, Japanese productions mix works by digital coloring, not to mention the new series, so my guess completely wasn't correct. The last chapter is an interview with him. I'm translating an interesting comment of his into English. I hope girls coeval with Sakura and their mothers watch the anime when beginning making it. Omitted. Exactly. Though the character's line could make the episode more exciting, it would be a trash talk and they heard another edit indirectly. As that's not limited in anime, whenever staff's push only a fun scenario, characters have to say something a little malicious. I carefully removed all these words from the world of Sakura. I was sure that it was filled with kindness and purity, as my expression might be appropriate. Frankly, the character's love wasn't so common. Yukito told Sakura his significant or rather, loved one was Toya. Tomoyo's mother Sonomi was charmed by Natashiko. What matters is that it never appeared graphic and corrupt. The director mentioned it was difficult to depict Tomoyo's emotion towards Sakura. His try was successful without a doubt. There was nobody hostile in the original. You tried Sakura's qualities of his mistress, and Ariel hoped she was the true successor. The director said he interpreted that as some kind of an ideal. Clamp and the animators created the perfect world, as this is just my personal ops. But first, I'm telling you to note I'm going to use difficult vocabularies from here, as this is just my personal and pedantic view. It reminded me of Neoplatonism and medieval theology attended by philosophy. They insisted the cosmos is eternal and infallible because something supreme, the transcendent one or the God, formed it. Do you remember Kaho's phrase? There are no coincidences in this world, only inevitability. Even the time and space are an overgrowth of its will, so everything is primarily expected. The characters outstanding in magical power like Clow and Kaho look quite conscious of the law in the work. It's widely known that Clamp modeled an occultist of the early 20th century, Aleister Crowley, after him. Though the magician was a strange gentleman, the other was historically a notorious confidence man. I borrowed Liber Alveligus, Magiscon, the Theory and Practice, and the Book of Thoth, a short essay on the tarot of the Egyptians written by him from a library when I was in high school. Any were very esoteric and I was overwhelmed with innumerable technical terms of Kabbalah, numerology, Egyptian mythology, Ayurveda, Buddhism, I Ching, alchemy and modern science. As I forgot what book it was, there was an explanation of golden Manipura chakra located in a navel, and in the next sentence, he suddenly described Jeremiah's prophecies. It goes without saying that his own theory also heavily influenced by Neoplatonism and medieval theology. In 1875, when he was born, Helena Blavatsky founded the Theosophical Society in New York. The members researched the Orient philosophy like Sufism and Hinduism, but they couldn't completely comprehend the dogmas because of involuntary prejudice against non-Western civilization and distinctively interpreted some ones based on Neoplatonism and Christian mysticism. Their theosophy had already been outdated in the early 20th century. Occultists didn't hope to be thought of as the same. Spiritualistic secret societies criticized it, and he had ridiculed it sometimes. However, it certainly impacted on them organizationally and theoretically. Incidentally, Ariel's exception was that Yukito would accept her love. There were two reasons why it was incorrect. First of all, he wasn't the absolute being but a mere created character. It can conceal and reveal something to him, so to say. It didn't want to him cognize the end. A lot of sci-fi authors wrote metafictions that they regarded themselves as the omnipotent in diverse languages. As it was nothing but Clamp, the criticism was very useless. They undoubtedly tried hiding themselves in the comic. Their existence didn't only need to be preternatural but unknowable, and I thought it was exceedingly Asian. I'm getting back to the topic. Second, Sakura's free will might have had effect on the destiny. Strictly speaking, the Almighty let it do that. Numerous philosophers have discussed it since ancient times. Crowley said human beings were a microcosmos, that each of them acquired omnipotence in the inside and that they could make their spiritually right wishes achieve in the outside because of that. He acknowledged the power to change outer state and he called it free will, following philosophical tradition. I maintain it's not contradictory to the immutable determination. Futurities are unpredictable for them despite everything destined from objective viewpoint, so it can notionally exist in individual as cause of phenomenons even if it comes from incomplete consciousness and is false. I've ever heard he hated Protestantism. His parents adhered to Exclusive Brethren, a Calvinistic denomination separated from the Church of England, and he went to boarding school managed by the believers, but he quit it because he opposed the strict regulations. The reason why he valued free will might have been that he confronted Protestants adopting predestination and totally depravity. I actually wish I talked about Clear Card's arc more, though I've done too much. The all anime episodes have already aired, still none of the viewers knew about Kato. The comic has been serialized and unfinished. Like the fans, I guessed what Clear Card's and Akiho's book were. I'm not speaking anymore because I can't predict the future like Clow, Calho and Ariel. I'll do that on a video of the new inflatable if it's produced someday.